that elite speed that he has.
Taysom Hill, the motion man. Rattler under.
Through that pocket, with all those big bodies around you, you cannot have one hand on the ball.
Pressure, ball is out. He fumbled, and it's recovered by Chicago.
Spencer Rattler is you got to go get over there and get involved, right? You waited a little bit.
3rd and 9, pressure coming again. It's picked up. Rattler intercepted. Picked off.
It's thrown behind.
By Deshaun Wright, across the 40, Wright still on the move, down the sideline, Deshaun. Rattler, everyone's never fired. He's pretty savvy. Away from Sweat, directed traffic, wants to throw down.
He's going to see you directing traffic, and he's going to be able to track the
Field, he's got Shaheed out there, and instead it's intercepted. Rattler under center, 4th down and 1, on the roll.
So, a great job by the Bears. They had everything covered. There was nowhere.
Rattler throws, it's deflected and intercepted by.
All right. Hello and welcome, everybody, to another week, another episode. And, I wanted to start off this one by saying I will be the first to admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong. And I'll admit it now because 6 wins, that is no longer, I think, realistic, right? We're looking at more of like a 7, 8, 9 win team, realistically, with the possibility of more after that even. I mean, looking at the schedule ahead of us, there's definitely a lot of winnable opportunities, a lot of winnable games. David, we have not talked at all about the game, so this is going to be all fresh, which is nice. But, I definitely think this team will wind up getting 7, 8, or 9 wins. I'm not sure exactly where yet. But I think with that, you still might be, 4th in the division? Potentially, which sucks. I mean, what's going on in Minnesota is pretty interesting. But, I want to stick on the Bears for a little bit. So let me get your first initial thoughts. What did you think about the game against the Saints? I wanted to start it off with that defensive video because, man, that unit is coming through for us, for sure. Playing way above expectations, in my opinion. So, let me hear what you think.
Yeah, man, it's not your opinion. It's, I think, through 4 games, the 4-game win streak, I think it's like a top 10 turnover margin in NFL history. I think it's like 17 takeaways in like 4 games or something like that. Something crazy, man. It was like 13 to 7. I don't remember what it was, but it's historic.
Yeah, so real quick, I just made a video, 16 turnovers through week 7. So it's 16 total. I think the last 3 games were 4, 4, and 3 in the last 3 games. So you got 11 in 3 games.
And then Dallas. Yeah. And then Dallas, I think. So you're at like 13. I think it was 13 in 4 games. This is the number I heard. So it was cool, man. It was good to get a win. It's good. If we're going to talk about the good, it's nice to see the defense coming together. They're really, really awesome. They're playing way above expectation, which is really awesome for Dennis Allen. It seems like Dennis Allen isn't going anywhere from that. I don't know if you watched that post-game press conference. He's like, man, I love it here. Sometimes you're someone else's garbage and somewhere else you're like a perfect fit. I feel like Dennis Allen and Ben Johnson are that next offensive mind plus defensive coach pairing that's going to last a really, really long time. And I think that's, man, more than anything else in the coaching staff, like you want to talk about how Detroit, like they didn't skip a beat losing these coaches, man. Like if you can have Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen here for the next 4 years or more, it's going to be a good result, hopefully. Those are the positives. Special teams did good.
Real quick, while we're on the defense, earlier in the year, I believe in preseason or maybe even before the season started, we talked about how there's a good potential here for pressure coming in from the secondary with Brisker and Gordon having the skill set and the resume of blitzing in and getting sacks. I mean, 1 year Brisker was our leading sacker, right? So we kind of saw that this last game. They kind of brought pressure in from the corner and the safety position.
Man, I can go on a whole separate tangent, man. Like everybody talks about Matt Eberflus being this like really good defensive coach, and we, like granted he wasn't a good head coach, but he was a good defensive coordinator and this and that. But like everything that Dennis Allen has done to change the team that Matt Eberflus brought in, I think he's even doing a better job with those players that Matt Eberflus brought in for his system. I think that switching Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards from middle linebacker to outside linebacker, that's something not very talked about, but I don't know if you knew that. But they switched positions this year. So Tremaine Edmonds is playing outside linebacker, or will, and it totally fits his type of play style. He's much faster. He can like run down runs on the outside. He gets to play the ball a little bit more. And TJ Edwards gets to just like be in the middle and just bash people, which is what he's fucking good at, and play middle linebacker.
There's been a couple plays. You're right. When you mention it, now that I think about it, there's been a couple plays where TJ Edwards has tipped the ball. One in this recent Saints game where Tremaine Edmonds wound up getting that interception. There was another one that went right through Tremaine's hands, though. I
know it was during the Saints game too. There was like
the
one
same thing. It's like TJ tips the ball, gives an opportunity for Tremaine. You're right. That might be actually
that's one of those things where it's like Matt Eberflus was just playing guys out of position. He was dumb enough to do that. I think he just wanted Tremaine Edmonds to be this long, cover 2 linebacker, like 6'6", play the middle, cover 2, and play your typical defense, like put him in a Brian Urlacher, Luke Kuechly position. And it was a good idea in theory, but like work with what you've got. And Dennis Allen's already proven to do that better than Matt Eberflus did in 3 years. And then
wasn't this kind of the hope? Wasn't this kind of the hope? Because like me, I'm a big reward the player, blame the player guy, right? Like Justin Fields, I was like, yeah, but he threw the pick. And then you get to a point where it's like, okay, but the coaching staff isn't doing him any favors. I still hold the player responsible. And then we saw the same thing with the defense. It's like, oh God, that Matt Eberflus clip. Defensive coordinator called a great game. By the way, that was me, right? Asshole. Yeah. But I kept saying like, well, no, but the players are getting it done. So who's to say somebody else can't come in here and get the same result with these kind of players? And it's kind of what we're seeing here. Same result, if not better. I mean, these turnovers continued.
Well, kind of on the same tangent, we're talking about a defense that is a totally different style. It's playing really, really well for Dennis Allen now. It's gelling really well. It's playing a different style, but it's also, against the Saints, they're playing for Dennis Allen because they like Dennis Allen. They wanted to get him a win against the team that fired him. So that's a whole separate issue. But there's a lot of tangents you can go down. So positives, the defense playing really, really well is great.
Can I lead you down something? I kind of want to set you up a little bit here. I think I know how you're going to answer this.
Well, last thing I'll say on the tangent is that I think it's funny when people – and I'm guilty of this too, where you kind of just ignore defensive injuries and you're just like, well, the defense is 11 guys and they should be able to kind of fill those gaps and fill those slots of injuries. And we're still playing without Jalen fucking Johnson, guys. Like, it's kind of crazy. I'm not saying this team is like playing amazing without Jalen Johnson. They'd probably be playing a lot better. But for 5 weeks, you were playing without Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, and TJ Edwards. Minus Montez Sweat. Those are your 4 out of 5 best defensive players on the team. And we'd kind of all just, well, you'll make it work and, you plug a guy in and all that. But like playmakers are playmakers for a reason. Well, sorry, I kind of disrespected Kevin Byard there. Kevin Byard is an absolute fucking stud. He's one of my favorite safeties on
career
this team.
Career year.
And he's 32 years old.
Tied for in the league for leading interceptions.
You were talking about how to replace Kevin Byard. He might get another year contract.
Definitely now.
At this pace, he deserves one too. But it's just one of those things that's kind of swept under the rug. So I just wanted to kind of address that. And it's like, this is what happens when you have a healthy defense and you're not missing your best players on a healthy defense. But go ahead, tangent me into something.
So if you had to pick one part of the offense that in the last 2 weeks has
transition
that has been the most consistent, what would it be?
In the last few weeks, I would say the running attack of the offensive line. More so than the running back itself, I would say the offensive lineman's ability to create space for a running game, which is an absolute crazy thing to say when the first 2 games you watch this team and the running game. This is credit to Ben Johnson, man. This guy can adjust with the best of them, where you're taking no difference in players other than Theo Benedict and you turned a bottom 5 running attack into a top 5 running attack in like 3 weeks. So I would say the offensive line's ability to run the ball. Now, the same offensive line's ability to pass protect, not exactly the same.
So
totally.
I led you right where I wanted you, David. So the defense is playing exceptionally well. The running game has been the most consistent part of the last 2 weeks of the offense. At the start of the season, our biggest concerns were defensive line pressure and just the defense in general. We were saying bottom 10 defense. And how is this team going to run the ball effectively? What we felt most confident about was the stacked passing offense that has been inconsistent. Now, you can look at this as 2 ways. You could say, one, things are going okay. We're winning games, but they're not going according to plan, because the plan should be to pass the ball effectively. Or 2, you could say there's still so much more room to grow as an offense, and there's still so much more potential to be had because of the lack of the thing that you should be best at, right?
Pass protection in theory?
In theory, just the passing game in general. I mean, dude, you got wide receivers up the ass. You got a fucking tight end 2 at pick 10. You got a right tackle.
All right. I don't know if we're. Let's go positive before we go negative.
No. I'm just saying.
We're 11 minutes in. I don't know if we're ready for that.
You could look at it as a positive way, saying, hey, we still have areas of improve that we should be able to improve in because those positions are stacked. And the plan, I think, is to have an effective passing game. And the other parts of the team that were supposed to drag us down are actually keeping us up. I mean,
I'm not ready for this to turn sour this quickly. Let me address some positive. Defensively, overperforming as fuck. Okay, positive. Special teams, I think this proves our point that Cairo Santos just needs to go. Like, why are you paying Cairo Santos and like extending his contract when you can get guys like Jake Moody for free, right? Jake Moody, I honestly, until Jake Moody starts fucking up, let Cairo Santos have a hamstring injury until the end of the season. Like, I don't care. I'm in no hurry to replace Jake Moody with Cairo Santos again. I feel better about 48-yard field goals with Jake Moody than I do with Cairo Santos. I'll tell you that much. So that's a positive. The special teams has been great. I love offensive line play. I think Theo Benedette, like, it's one of those crazy things. Depending on how Theo Benedette shakes out towards the end of the year, you might not be looking for left tackles in the first round next year. As stupid as that may be, because me and you are those guys where we're like, it's a good problem to have. If you can draft wherever the Bears are drafting, if you're drafting mid-20s, taking a lineman may not be the best course of action, but a left tackle in the first round is always a good idea. But you might go running back because Theo Benedette just like proved that he's worth another year. So that's fine. And then I do like secretly that Cole Kmet need to take a week off or 2 or more, because I kind of have seen enough from Cole Kmet to do that. Flipping over to the negatives on defense.
You want to address Carl's comment?
The cave troll has left his cave again. I do think that the defense being this good is fun as fuck. It is completely unrealistically unsustainable. If anybody, like, I'm sorry, people, like, the defense is not going to play this well for 4 weeks straight and then keep it going till the end of the season. They're going to have like a regression where for 4 games, this is just natural. Any team, even like the best defenses per year, like, unless you think that this defense is going to end up top 5, this team playing this well on defense would make it a top 5 defense in the league. This is not a top 5 defense. They'll end somewhere in like the 10 to 15 range at this rate with how well they're playing under Dennis Allen. but it can't maintain this. So you're going to need to pick up the slack and not rely on the defense so much. So that's kind of the negative. And also, you're healthy for like 4 weeks. You're not going to be healthy the rest of the season. You're going to keep losing guys. Like, you just lost Tyreek Stevenson. One of your linebackers is going to go down. You know, like, they're not the healthiest, but they're not losing key guys. Grady Jarrett and Tyreek Stevenson are like the big key losses from last week that, you know, aren't coming back. Jalen Johnson's a non-starter because I think he's done for the year without them ever really announcing it. And then it's fun to just see DeAndre Swift and Monangai like have good games because the offensive line is good. So that's fun. I have a question for you on the other side. As you know, it's easy to blame everybody else when you're losing. It's always easy to point the finger, especially when we lost those 2 first games. And we were talking about, you know, it's not just on one area because everybody's guilty. But when you're winning 4 games in a row, everybody's playing well or whatever, I have a question to flip it to you, Paul. What would you say is the weakest aspect of this team during a 4-week winning streak?
That is a good question. I still think
You're not making noise.
1 second.
Nope. So, yeah, on my side of it,
What about now?
nope, nothing. Unfortunately, Paul.
Wow. I'll be right back.
I don't know what happened to your settings, but you're not making any sound. Hold on. It might be me.
Anything now?
Yep, I think it was me actually the whole time. So sorry. Yeah, continue. Yeah, sorry. What would you say through the 4-week winning streak? It's a lot of positives because you can point at a lot of positives. What is the weak link of this team through a 4-game winning streak?
For me, it's, you know, I would answer that by thinking like, okay, so next year in the draft, what's the first thing I'm targeting? It's still defensive line pressure. I know this defense has been opportunistic. We've been getting turnovers. I know some of those turnovers have come from sack fumbles. Andrew Billings did a good job. And like, these guys are on it. They're getting on top of it. Yet we're still in situations where we're kind of handcuffed to bring in pressure from the secondary and find ways to get creative to put pressure on the quarterback because we just don't have it up front in those 4 guys. So specifically defensive end, you know, it might get a little better with Austin Booker when he comes back, if and when. But I mean, it's a 5th-round pick, right? So the expectations are only so high. You're getting jack out of Dial, like nothing. That guy, you're better off keeping Yannick Ngakoue at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I thought he was going to be, kind of like this shell of a guy who maybe gets like these selfish sacks that help him just get paid. It's not even that. Like, he's just missing altogether. So, yeah, that would be the place I think I would have the most criticism about, if that answers your question.
Okay. I'm going to be consistent here. I think your weakest individual area is your quarterback. We have gone full circle in 4 wins where the defense plays outstanding. You have a running game. And the one aspect of your team that's not really kind of pulling its weight is a quarterback position. I think I'm still being patient with it. I'll put it this way. I was watching these last 4 wins, and they're close and they're gutsy. I don't think Commanders is not an issue. The Cowboys are not exactly a game that I don't know how to reference that in hindsight, because that just seemed like a perfectly planned game and whatnot. But especially last week, against the Saints, I look back and I think the Saints have a sneaky underrated secondary and play with the quarterback really well. Because I looked at every single game the Saints played this year. I don't think even Josh Allen had shockingly similar stats to Caleb Williams. It was like 60% throwing. It was somewhere in the range of like 2 touchdowns, 1 interception kind of thing. I think the Saints are sneaky good. The best game that a quarterback has had against the Saints this year was last week against Drake May, or 2 weeks prior. And so my point is that the defense is going to naturally regress, and the defense has carried you through the last 4 games. The running game is going to have some off games. You cannot get what you are getting from Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson the last 4 games and expect to beat teams like the Ravens this week. I don't think that what you are getting from your quarterback, it is by definition enough right now because you're winning and it's managing to supplement the areas of your team that are doing well. I don't think it is sustainable. Like in my head, the blueprint against the Ravens to win, the Ravens are having a kitchen sink game and they're going to throw everything they've got at you. So Lamar is going to be playing. I think the defense is going to play better. If they attack things the way that they're going to attack things, the Bears have done well. Unless the Bears are still able to run it down teams' throats without teams being able to do anything about it, fine. But I expect more out of my first overall pick and I looked at Caleb's season stats this year. He basically just hovers around 200 yards, a touchdown, and a pick per game. That is not what I can't say that is something I'm okay with from a first overall pick.
I definitely want to comment on this. I'm hearing a bit of crackling pretty consistently, though. I don't know if you want to maybe leave and come back or unplug your mic and plug it back in. I thought it was on me, but maybe not. We're having technical issues tonight again. So, okay. So the one thing that I think definitely needs to change is it's nothing to do with the stats. Because, like, I can show you Jalen Hurts' stats from last year, and it doesn't matter. They won the Super Bowl, right? So to me, it's not anything with that. What it is all situational, and the situation is complementing your defense. Those turnovers are not going to continue at this rate. They'll still get some here and there. When they get some, you need to score. You can't sit there and have 3 turnovers and a half and still be down. Or you know what I mean? You just or sit there and come away with a field goal or 2 off 3 turnovers. It just doesn't cut it. So those are the moments where this offense needs to step up and really kind of, make a point swing in the game and really affect the game. And I don't think the weakest spot is the quarterback per se, just because I even feel good with the backup being Bajan. So, like, to me, if Caleb was, and I thought about this too, I think we don't give Caleb enough credit for his toughness. Nobody talks about it because this whole narrative about him painting the nails exists and blah, 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 and this and that. Dude, this kid he was sacked 68 times last year, David. Didn't miss a snap. Has he missed a snap this year? Like, that's some shit. I notice it. I appreciate it from any quarterback that starts for me.
I don't know how the crackling is, but like,
much better.
I agree with you. I think Caleb is also very, very malleable. He's quick to change and update and upgrade with what the situation that he's dealt with. Like, I think that's something even last year we gave him credit for. Like, he had 3 coordinators basically in one season. He was able to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Like, I don't hate on Caleb Williams, but I don't think what he's doing right now is good enough. To your point, like, if you're saying it's complimentary football, I would say it's the opposite. Complimentary football is what is, if you have 3 turnovers, you should win games by 10 to 15 points. And these
that's what needs to improve.
That's what I mean. So,
better,
but when the complementary football of the aspect of complementary football ends, which it is inevitably going to, is he just going to step up his game Or is this now just uncomplimentary football? The thing I'm talking about is like, there are times when I'm watching Caleb Williams where it's just not on time, dude. It's just not on time. It's not on rhythm. It's clearly not what Ben Johnson's plan is going into that week. And Caleb Williams makes a spectacular play. Sometimes it does. And I felt this week in particular, it just felt so like the drug that was Justin Fields. If we want to go back a step, remember when we talked about that drug where it's like, well, it's not a good looking quarterback play, but the good plays that he does with his legs or does something special or whatever, it kind of just distracts you. Look over there while you don't look over here. And so those spectacular plays by Caleb Williams where he's scrambling, and he just throws like a 20-yard laser beam and he hits the sideline. Like, those are fun. Those are cool. Those are awesome to watch. And you're like, wow, no one else in the world could do that but Caleb Williams. And I agree. Those are awesome. Just the same way that there's not been a running quarterback like Justin Fields since like Michael Vick. But if we're talking about complimentary football, I guarantee Ben Johnson wants to dink and dunk right now. I guarantee he's trying to get these 4, 7, 8, 5, 7 yard, like all these plays from his quarterback that he's just not getting right now, because Caleb Williams hovers around 60% completion, 1 touchdown and 1 pick. Like, I don't know if we have a quarterback on the roster that fits what Ben Johnson's doing. And even during the broadcast, they mentioned something about how Ben Johnson said, you know, it's refreshing to work with a young quarterback because it challenged me. It made me go back, and because he's like, I maxed out what Jared Goff could do. Well, Jared Goff's a fucking MVP candidate, like year in and year out lately. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and it's not even debatable. So it's like, yeah, you maxed him out, but he wasn't like a bum when you got him. So I don't really know. It's kind of distracting you from, I think, how bad Caleb is running. Caleb Williams is not running Ben Johnson's offense the way he wants it, but he's making enough spectacular plays to cover up all of his own inadequacies or mistakes. And the shoe will drop really fucking hard when the shoe drops. So if you go into the Ravens game, and my thought process is, the Ravens, if they stop the run game in any way, shape, or form, or don't turn the ball over, the only script that you have to win that game against the Ravens is Caleb Williams needs to have his first 350-yard, 4-touchdown performance, 350-yard, 3-touchdown performance. And at this point, I keep waiting for it against worse teams. It's not going to happen against the best teams. Why the fuck would it happen against the best teams if he can't do it against the bad teams? So I just don't know what to think. And I'm getting exhausted by waiting.
So, okay, I'll address this like this. First of all, Brian Watson, always welcome to come on with us too. Brian's a Packers fan, by the way. So screw him right now. But little too early to tell. Still inconsistent. I definitely think that's correct. So I think there's been ups and downs, but I think ups and downs were expected. And I think this last game against the Saints was a down, right? Like, no touchdowns, 1 interception. And that's okay if that's the bad game he has, right? Like, he didn't completely implode like Spencer Rattler did, by the way, against this defense. But yeah, so I think at his worst so far this year, it hasn't been terrible. I think Ben Johnson's offense is not an easy offense by any means. I've heard some talk, and I mean, you know, I don't have sources or anything or this and that, but one of the radio guys was saying that he has sources of a guy that's inside that was saying that Caleb gets it. Like, he's at understanding the offense much faster than they expected him to. And I think you can see some of that stuff in the pre-snap adjustments, in the pre-snap motions and everything like that. And so there's a lot going on here. Now, has made mistakes? Yes. Right. But he even talked about, like, even after this game, he was like, man, I should have ran 1 or 2 of those opportunities instead of trying to scramble out the sideline and just get a throw off or whatever, which, by the way, I don't mind that so much because it hasn't killed you at all. Like, he hasn't done that and thrown a pick, really. right? So if he's quick enough to just scramble away from pressure, scramble away to the sideline, try and create an opportunity, and skilled enough to be able to throw that ball, it's been okay. That's much better than getting sacked. Once it's a broken play, it's a broken play, right? So when it comes to the plays that aren't that necessarily, I think he does attempt to run the offense. There's still hiccups. There's still ups and downs. This isn't at a point by any means. I think he's bought himself enough now of a leash to where even if that shoe does drop a little bit, I think you're pretty much kind of going into it with Caleb Williams at this point. And you're going to ride this season out. And so, David, you're muted. I know you're talking back, but you're muted. Go ahead.
That is beside the point. That's so on the left side of that point. Absolutely, okay. Obviously, he has earned and played just well enough to ride this thing out and to prove that he's not the guy or whatever this metric you have. He is absolutely one.
There's been steps forward pretty consistently.
Yes. I thought his Washington game was by far his most complete game of the season. And now looking back on it, he had 15 days to prepare. I don't think that Caleb Williams is bad as a quarterback when he gets time to prepare. I think he is a little bit slow to this. So it is a little bit, again, a lot of it is the work in progress, right? I just think if we're being brutally honest about where this team's at, like the title you put on this video, are they a good team? They're not a bad team. I wouldn't put them in the good team category yet. Right?
Yeah, I think we crawled out of the bad team category.
I don't think you're a
I think we just crawled out of it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, the same way you're not calling Washington a bad team. They're not great. They're not like super good this year, but they're not bad.
In a NFC championship last year, though. So you still have
this year I'm talking about. But like, you know what I mean? Like Minnesota, you're tied with Minnesota in terms of record for the season, but you're not calling Minnesota a bad team. Big differences, right?
What do you think about what do you think of what King Booker says here? Because he always makes great points. Not too many QBs are throwing 300 plus because of this damn kickoff rule. He had his first below 200-yard game. Bad games are going to happen. This ain't the last one. I'm actually curious to see overall yardage at the end of the year and kind of compare it to other years. But do you think
I think I kind of acknowledge it is because I acknowledged it too. I think the Saints have an underrated secondary, and any quarterback that's played them this year hovers around almost exactly the same stat line Caleb Williams had this game, right? Like Jackson Dart played against the Saints. He had like 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Josh Allen played him. He was like 212, a touchdown and a pick. So it could be an anomaly, right? It could be that like the Saints are a little bit better than we think they are. It could be that Caleb Williams, this is one of those things that I thought about after we predicted the game. They were playing the Saints on 6 days, not 7. They were playing them on 6 days. They played Monday Night Football the week before. This is them beating the shit out of the Saints on a short week. So a lot of things can factor into these conversations. The same way I said Washington was their most complete game. I thought it was bullshit that they didn't win by 10 in Washington. All of these things go week to week in the NFL right now, especially with how fluctuating it is, right? People thought the Philadelphia Eagles were dead in the water, and then 2 games in a row, they're like, nope, they're fucking back. Buffalo was an absolute Super Bowl wagon. They were no way they were going to lose, and then they lost 2 in a row. So everything is week to week. But out of your first overall pick, man, it's so hard.
No, I hear you. I hear the expectations. He's still coming short of expectations. I hear you in a sense.
No, it's not that he's coming short of expectations. He's right on the line of expectations. Maybe I would have expected him to exceed a little bit of expectations, right? Well, Drake May right now is a top 5 MVP candidate, so that's kind of a whole separate issue.
Yeah, he broke a record that to take anything away from Brady, 90% completion is incredible.
Yeah, he threw for 222. That's why I'm saying to King Buka, like even he didn't have an amazing game against the Saints. He just had like a really efficient game. He's right on track with where I think people kind of expected it to be. I'd like him to have. There hasn't been to me other than the Dallas game. Because even the Dallas game, I don't look back on and go like, man, Caleb Williams put it all together. And there was a lot of missed opportunities in the Dallas game. And that's
There's
what we
going to
talked
be in
about.
every game. But so
Yeah.
so the difference for me, David, like you mentioned Justin Fields. Well, the difference with that was all the flash came early. Come late in games, come clutch moments, you fuck it up. With Caleb, we have something different. Come late in games, come clutch moments, he comes through. The team has fucked it up, and now this year the team's not fucking it up. But I still see that like killer in him at the end of the game, and I think that's huge. So it's just like, dude, we're the same record we were last year, 4-2. I feel completely different about this team than I did about last year's. 100%.
I agree. But again, I think that's as a whole team. I think this team is learning something about itself in terms of how to win, how to play well under like clutch pressure moments. I just don't know if right now, if you're going to tell me that Caleb Williams is exactly dead center down the middle, where is he helping this team win games, or is he holding the team back from winning games more efficiently? I'd say he's right in the middle. He's a 5 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10. He's not helping the team win like these games, I think, by being especially great in any way, shape, or form. Nothing about his game right now is above a 6 out of 10. Like, if you had to give him a grade for the season, he's getting a C+. He's passing. He's passing a little bit above expectation, but it's nothing special. I would like him to be at a B right now, and at some point soon. And that's kind of the thing. We're TikTok. We're getting to the point of the season where people said he needs a little bit of time to understand, get this, get the offense under his belt, understand shit a little bit better. We're in week 8. It's the Ravens game. And this is a team that's about to fucking come in desperate as fuck. Or you're going to go to Baltimore desperate as fuck. And you want to continue this win streak, keep building this momentum. Let's say the running game has a little bit of a hiccup, right? You're relying on them so much. Let's say the defense has a little bit of a hiccup. You're relying on them so much. I want a game where you're relying on Caleb Williams. I want a game where you get to be like, you know what? Defense didn't play great. Running game was okay. Caleb fucking stepped up and just took that game for us. And we're at 8 games, and there has not been one single time where he's done that yet. Not that it should be expected, but we're getting to the point where I need one. I'm going to need one soon.
I would reference that you could say that you could make an argument for the Dallas game, right? And King Booker took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah. They've won with him, but not because of him yet. 100%, right? So that's the next step you need to take. You need to win because of Caleb, right? Mm-hmm. However, I think the plan is Caleb's getting the opportunity to show whether he can do that or fail at that, and that opportunity is going to be this season, right? And dude, this is exactly what we say. Like, dude, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have ups and downs. There's so much more easier to live with if you just win the damn game, which is why that's the most important thing. You just like all these other seasons we've had recently, where everybody goes back and shoulda, coulda, woulda game, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Oh, well, we should have done this, but we block field goal here and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's play that game. What if you don't block the field goal against the Raiders? What if you don't make the field goal against Washington? What if those 2 wins are 2 losses and you're 2-4? Yeah. This conversation about Caleb exists to a much larger degree, because
it's exploding.
So I hear you. So that's why it's not cutting it yet, especially, and I kind of led you down this path earlier, but it's like, well, wait a second. This is the plan here. I think the plan is channel this offense through Caleb in the passing game. I need more from Colston Loveland, dude. I need way more from Colston Loveland being picked 10. Like, you're right. Dude, as long as we keep winning, it's fine. And then this leads me to this Ravens game. Now, there's a lot of speculation. Oh, will Lamar play? Will Lamar not play? I think he jogged onto the practice field 20 minutes into practice today. They were kind of speculating on, if he practices today, he'll probably play. If he doesn't, well, so he practiced half the time. Whoa, what does that mean? Who knows? But you know why he's going to play, David? Because every athlete in this league, especially high-level athletes, think they can win every goddamn game. In Lamar's mind, they can be 12-5 this year. And that's good enough. You know what I mean? Like, so there's still plenty of reason to go out there and give it your all. And this team is very scary with him. Very, very, very scary and tough with him. And dude, a legit opponent, even though their record is 1-5 this year. If I wanted to ask you, like, can you afford a loss here? Yeah, if you want to get to 6, 7, 8 wins. But if you really want that 9 or 10 wins, the answer is no, right? Like, you have to win. Especially when you're on a 4-game winning streak. Like, yeah, you have to keep it going. So this game interests me a lot. Another noon game, correct? I think we have 4 noon games in a row, and then I think we play on a Friday. Do you know that?
Yeah. Yeah. Are we the Black Friday game?
I think so, yeah. So,
yeah. That's cool.
But yeah, this Ravens game, man, it's not going to be. None of these games are a walk in the park. But like you said, if we look that way against the Saints and this and that, however, this league it's a week-to-week league. You could sit there and look better against the best and worst against the worst. I mean, we've seen the Bears downplay teams a lot in the past. But yeah, dude, I don't know. This game's kind of got me on my toes a little bit. If they win, and you got a 5-game winning streak, oh man, that's legit.
Yeah, and I guess it's funny. I don't know if this has ever happened in like NFL history where a team that's 1-5 is favored so much against a team that's 4-2, right? Like, when is this ever? I don't know when the hell this has ever happened, but it's correct. I do think the Bears at this point have proven that they'll be scrappy against the Ravens no matter what. They're not this dog shit team that we're used to last year. The only thing that kind of sucks is like the only part of this team that I feel like goes back and regresses to last year and things that I recognize from last year. Like, the running game never falls apart. Like, the running game does not fall apart like it ever did last year. The offensive line is well coached and it's upscaling and it's up-resing itself into a new offensive line that we're not used to. The defense, it's like I said, man, you gotta be ready for the downfall of this defense. There's gonna be some bad games. And, like looking at the chat, Shorty, I'm sorry. You're like, what ifs don't matter and what ifs. I don't think I said any what ifs. Paul might have brought up what ifs. People, like he said, positions have bad games, even quarterbacks. Of course they do. So when the first 2 games, the defense had bad games, you're saying, well, defenses have bad games. No, you weren't saying that. You weren't saying that this is still a good defense and they're going to come out with 4 superstar performances. You were saying the defense fucking sucks for 2 games and it was underperforming. So yeah, they have bad games, but off of like small sample sizes, you just kind of call them a blip. We're 7 games into the season and Caleb Williams has not won a game for you yet. Like Buka said, you've won with him, not because of him. And you're going to need to win because of him very shortly. This team will regress to the mean. The rushing game I don't know about the rushing game. The rushing game, I'm pretty confident at this point. But the defense is going to underperform. There's going to be some turnovers or something, or the defense won't get turnovers. And you're going to have to come out and you're going to have to score almost every drive to win a game. I have no confidence in that happening right now under this offense. I don't have a confidence that this team will come out and score 7 out of 10 drives that game. That's not confident. This is next to impossible with this team. So, it's just with this Ravens game, I see the way it plays out, right? And like how it can play out and how do you win versus how do you lose? How do you lose this game? Well, Ravens are fucking desperate. They're going to come at you with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson and people are healthy. And this offense is going to start fucking clicking. And this defense is going to kind of regress back to the mean. And you're going to get your ass pushed in by a Ravens offense that traditionally is really, really fucking good. This is one bad season. Secondly, if you do win, like on the flip side of how do you win, I could see a rare case where, the Bears are just running the ball down their throat early. It's 14-0, it's 10-0, and the Bears just play keep away, right? They just run the ball, drain the clock, play decent defense, don't let the Ravens score too many points, maybe keep this a low-scoring game, 24-17 or something. That's how you do it. And then the other way that you can actually win this game is Caleb balls the fuck out finally. Like that's the result I'm hoping for the most. that how do you break that trend of losing to the Ravens every time? How do you always you need a fucking special performance from the best player on the field or the most important player on the field. You need a special fucking performance where Caleb plays his balls off. Like, that's how you can win this game. There's a lot more game scripts to how you lose this game than how you win this game, I think. I think the way you see this game playing out. And one of those is reliant on one person, and it's your quarterback, because some quarterbacks can win games for you in these types of situations. So I'm hopeful, but at this point, I was hopeful that he would ball out against the Commanders. I was hopeful he would ball out against the Saints. I thought that was the breakout game. I was dead wrong. I can't be hopeful for a breakout game anymore. If it happens, it happens. And I get to watch it, and it'll be special. But I don't predict them anymore. I don't think Caleb, you know what Caleb Williams is going to do this game? He's going to do 200 yards. He's going to do a touchdown, and he's going to do a pick. And that's because that's his average.
And so, but so when it comes to that conversation, I don't think by any means Caleb has hit his ceiling or his peak. I think there's still plenty of room for Caleb to grow and get better and improve consistently, right? We talked about the floor being raised. Like, that Saints game was not a great performance, but honestly, with like, that wasn't. If that's going to be your terrible game, I'll take it. Like 100%, I'll take that as your bad game. You know, you're right though. You need to ball out. You need to go out there and you need to prove you belong in this league. And those opportunities now are ahead of you. You are 4-2. You do have a chance to sit there and prove everybody wrong, including people like us who are fans, who are like, dude, I went back to last year predicting 9 wins and it was a joke. I'm not going to do that again. Prove me wrong the other way. Like, fool me once, fool me twice. Dude, I've been fooled 30-something times. Like, get out of here. So, yeah, those opportunities are ahead of you. They're there. You're going to need to take them. You're going to need to go out there and perform. And I think that is the expectation for, you know, the long-term outlook of Caleb, right? Like, all these things matter. And I think you're still seeing growth. I do. And I think that is important to continue to build upon, and to get to a point where he can do that pretty consistently, David, because by no means do I think it's impossible. Like, you're right. The most likely outcome is 200 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, but I would not be surprised if Caleb went out there and had a damn good game. And, you know, King Booker says it. Yes, it's the past. I hear what you're saying. What the record says. But right now, the Ravens defense is horrible. The Bears can beat this team. It won't be easy. Yes, it will not be a walk in the park, but it is definitely possible to come away here with a victory. I mean, dude, especially if like Lamar tweaks that hamstring. Like that's another way you win that game. I know I'm not sitting here hoping whatever, but like, you, dude, that would be a snowball effect too. Probably the rest of the team would be like, well, fuck, here we go. Like,
don't get me wrong. Everything you're saying is right. And everything that you're saying in terms of preaching the patience, but like, you are one of the people that I know that talk about these small windows being open, right? Like, you get these small windows, and I'm not going to sit here. Like, I predicted 6 wins. Like you said, I'm at like 9 now. I think worst case scenario, this team is pretty good, or like best case scenario, they're pretty good. They get to like 9. And then going into next year, you can get really hopeful about playoffs and all that stuff, right? But you get these small windows, and you're 4-2, man. And the one part of your team that honestly isn't pulling its weight, let's just fucking call it what it is. Like, we're being delicate and we're being sensitive. And you said it. What ifs and couldas and wouldas and shouldas. It's not a coulda, woulda, shoulda. If 2 of these 4 wins were losses and you're 2-4, we're shitting on Caleb. We're talking about benching Caleb. The same performances, all the same performances. You don't block that kick against the Raiders. Jake Moody misses that kick against Washington. Yeah, the talk is a little bit about special teams or bad luck or, oh my God, this is the same team as last year, whatever. But 2-4, you're talking about, like, is Caleb doing enough? That's the conversation. And so
but that potential for it is still there, and it's still ahead of you.
But the conversation skews more in that direction than it is now. Winning covers up a lot of grossness. And right now, like, the part of the team that's not pulling its weight and progressing at the same pace. Let me say it that way. The team has exponentially progressed faster than where it should be in a lot of areas. There is no reason the defense should have gone from that bad to that good in 4 weeks. There is no reason the special team should have fixed itself from that bad to that good in 4 weeks. There's no reason the offensive line should have gone from that bad to that good. The running game from that bad to that good. The only part of the team that's not growing at the same pace and taking an opportunity in this window is the quarterback position. Again, I don't even know if it's fucking Caleb. I don't know if the quarterback is on this roster that would have fit Ben Johnson and what he wants to do. Maybe Ben Johnson is less flexible than he thinks he is. He wants Jared Goff back here, and he's not going to get one. That doesn't exist. But Ben Johnson's also the guy who says, I can do with Caleb what I did with Jared, plus he's fast and can run. And maybe, but, it's like we put all this trust in all these areas, but it's just give it more time. And I'm willing to give it more time. He has earned, King Buka said it. I'm not talking about what Caleb's leash is anymore. I have acknowledged, and I'm going to acknowledge, he's playing right at the point where there is no debate on benching him. None. Zero. Zilch. Absolute.
Right.
None. I'm not talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about pulling the weight. And at this point, I need Caleb to pull a little bit more weight than he's pulling right now, if that makes sense. And not only that, as a first overall pick with all these offensive weapons and the fucking coach of the year at this, like one of the best coach hires of this, like, dude, not only do you need to pull your weight, you need to drag the corpse of the rest of your team a few games this season across the finish line. You need to win because of you. And I'm not talking like 5 games. I'm talking like 2. Give me 2 games this year where Caleb Williams is the reason you won that fucking game. You need to fucking, and this is your first opportunity. This is going to be a good Ravens game. This is going to be a good Ravens team, hungry as fuck. And more than likely, if everything breaks even, you can run the ball well, you can play good defense. It's going to be a close fucking game. What's the X factor here? Caleb can't play 200 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick, and you are going to win this Ravens game. I can almost guarantee it. It's not going to happen. The way that you win this game is everything happens the same it does, and Caleb goes for 285 and 3 touchdowns. That's where it comes together.
And so, David, like I said, for me, it's not even so much the stats. I mean, we're talking about the same thing. Because, yes, he needs to pull more weight. I even told you how. Compliment that damn defense when it turns over the ball. Get some points off those turnovers. Just do that alone, and your game will increase significantly. And I just want to say, with all due respect, we don't have any respect for each other here, Shorty. Come on now. We need Caleb to have at least 3 years in this offense before any of this talk is considerably relevant. Unfortunately, Shorty, with all due respect, we live in the now. Every season's an opportunity. And if you predicted this team for 10, 12 wins, there's got to be a path to get to that area. And this is the path. It's through the damn quarterback. Hold on. I know, David, you want to say something, but I keep going back to this. Oh, dude, always a lot of love, Shorty. I keep going back to this. Everybody credits coaches so much, and discredits players so much. And I keep saying it. Aaron Rodgers won despite Mike McCarthy, Joe Philbin. Andy Reid did not win one until he got Patrick Mahomes, right? You could be so damn good as a coach. You have to get it done as a player on the field. Caleb has to get the job done. And if he doesn't, it's Ben Johnson's job to evaluate whether he met expectations or not, and replace him if he doesn't. And Shorty, the Ravens won a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer and moved on from him in the offseason because he wasn't good enough. If you're evaluating the position, sure, you could even have the ultimate success and still be but that's our weakest link. We all knew it with Rex Grossman in 2006. Yeah, we made the Super Bowl, but we all knew Rex Grossman and who he was and what he was. Come on now. So we could still sit here and look at the quarterback's game and have an opinion about the quarterback. And David, like I said, the more wins you get, the longer that leash is, the more opportunities you have to get it right, to become consistent, to have those games. Because right now, if you take those, like I said, shoulda, coulda, woulda, I hate playing this game and I don't play it. But like, I like to flip the script on people when things are going good and remind them, hey, this was your argument when we were haters or whatever. If you're 2-4 right now, that leash is incredibly short, and you have so much less time to sit there and have that game where you drag everybody with you, right? No, this has at least given Caleb more time, more breathing room to sit there and be able to progress. And as long as I'm seeing constant progression, I guess I'm satisfied and happy. Sure, you do have the window cracked open a little bit this year. You do. That, like I said, the possibility for a 9-10 win team, it's there now. I don't think it was there if you asked me 4 or 5 weeks ago. But that opportunity has now opened itself up. If we miss the playoffs this year, but coming at 8-9 wins, and it's looking like it's taking a step forward, I am satisfied. I'm still satisfied based off what my expectations were, right?
I
yeah,
think,
so
what you're saying is also correct, and it's like it's a nuanced conversation. People, like, if you clip this and shit and like went online with it, it'd be like we're Caleb haters. We're not. This has nothing to do with it. It's just like you talk about second year quarterbacks. Joe Burrow dragged his team to the Super Bowl in his second year, right? Like, we're talking about the same draft compensation player here. Similar situations, very similar. Mediocre offensive line, super stud at the wide receiver position, great offensive coach, like similar situations, but it's like, but Caleb has a different trajectory, I guess. Whatever. He is on a different trajectory. At this rate, yes, he's obviously going to get another year at least. And the shoulda, woulda, coulda games are like, if this guy was throwing for 350 and 3 touchdowns, dude, would Ben Johnson be getting any credit? Would the defense be getting any credit? Would the run game be getting any credit? It would all be ignored. And Caleb Williams would just be like, oh my God, we finally got one, boys. We got one. Like, yeah, because the stats do kind of matter. Because when it's 350 and 2 touchdowns a game, you guys would be like, guys, we have an MVP. We have a generational quarterback. But it's like, well, when it's 200 a game and a touchdown and a pick, which is the same shit that like Spencer Rattler's doing and fucking Jackson Dart is doing, and like, whoever else you want to throw in there that's doing similar stuff. It's like, well, he just needs a little bit more time. And then those 350s are coming. We haven't even seen a hint of those yet. Like, it's the little stuff it's the eye test right now, man. It is the eye test. Like, the guy's throwing. Shorty, you went from agreeing with me completely on the point to not agreeing. None of my points have changed. He's cool. He's fun to watch. The results aren't coming with it. Like, there's still glaring gaps in his game right now. Like, the guy can't throw a touch pass. He throws frozen ropes off of people's fingers every time. He scrambles a little bit too much. Not a little bit, a fucking lot. Except this year, they're not turning into sacks. So it's like the results do matter because the results are what you judge. He's not on pace for fucking 40 sacks this year even because he's getting away and he's throwing the ball away because he's getting yelled at otherwise. Like, it's a nuanced argument. I'm just saying, in the next, out of 17 games, you need 2 in the second year. I'm not asking him to fucking carry this team to the Super Bowl in the second year. That's not what I'm saying. This isn't Joe Burrow, and I'm not holding him to that standard. But, like, this is a prime opportunity. You want to fucking put your fingerprint on this team? You want to fucking put your dick on the table and be like, hey, everybody, I'm not a mediocre quarterback. I'm a fucking special quarterback. Be fucking special. Beat the shit out of the Ravens. Outplay Lamar. Let's start there. Have a better game than fucking Lamar Jackson for one time.
Yeah. No, exactly. Those opportunities are ahead of you. They're there. Do it. Like we said a couple weeks ago, go out there, get the damn job done. And so, like, when it comes to those games, David, if we have that game against the Bengals with their backup quarterback and, like, they're not much of a threat, like, we should have had that game against the Saints with the way Spencer Rattler was playing and our defense was just feeding us opportunity. And honestly, like, we scored 17 points in the second quarter. It was pretty much over at half. I think you did enough, whether the stat line showed it or not, to control that game and win that game and just have it in the palm of your hand, right? It got a little iffy there in the second half, but, you came away with a W like you should have. Like, you should beat the Bengals backup quarterback, right? Like you should go out there and have good, strong performances against certain teams. Now, this team, the Ravens, although they're 1-5, if you go out there and have a damn good performance against them, that is more of a statement now. You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying. Like you want that. Of course you want that. I want it too. Like I want it as often as possible. And, you get things brought up like, oh, well, like he's following the path that Tom Brady did and this and that. But no, well, like Tom Brady kept winning games, which is why he was allowed to go down whatever path he went down. Like that's the most important part at the end of the day is come away with the W's, and you will get a lot of opportunities to sit there and prove yourself. Yes, it needs to improve. But David, like I said, I don't think he has hit his ceiling by any means. I think that improvement is there. It's been there. Sacks are a huge one, right? However you're doing it, getting yelled at, whatever, you're
Big
not
upgrade.
killing the game.
Yeah,
huge.
credit where credit is
So
due.
like keep
Big
that
upgrade.
up. Keep
Turnovers
that up, right?
turnovers aren't that bad. Good stuff. But like the Drew Dahlman like snap exchanges, like that shit can't happen, dude. Like,
Yeah,
that
a
shit
lot of
can't
pre-snap
happen.
penalties are bad. There's a lot of, like you said, glaring issues, man.
No, nowhere near his ceiling for sure. And what to say with Ben Johnson's offense? Like, I'm not saying he needs to master it, but dude, a skilled quarterback is one of those a blind squirrel can find a nut type situations where among all these mediocre 200-yard games, you have to have a 350 in there to see a ceiling. You're like, they're nowhere near his ceiling. I don't know what his fucking ceiling is anymore. What if we are closer to his ceiling than we think he is?
So
Because we haven't seen him break that ceiling yet. The closest we got was Dallas. It was 298 and 4 touchdowns. Daniel Jones has done that 5 times this fucking season, right? So it's like, it's not really the point. This is kind of where I wanted to get around to because we're wrapping up at an hour or whatever. But like, let's use the last 2 games specifically as an example, right? The defense played well. We had a great running game. Caleb played good, not great. If you put that type of performance together against the Ravens, I don't think you're winning.
No,
you know what I'm
you're
saying?
right.
Like
No,
if you're doing what you
better.
did the last 2 weeks against the Ravens, that's not a win. That's
Yeah,
not a
this-
formula for consistent
Yeah.
success.
This is
It's
what I was
not.
talking about. The things that we were worried about are playing above expectations. We were worried about the running game. We were worried about the defense. They're playing above expectations.
You're playing
That's
above.
most likely
Something else
going to
to
come
step
down
up.
to earth. It's most likely going to come down to earth over the span of time. And you're going to need to lean on the part of this offense that you've built this offense to lean on. I mean, you've built it in a certain way to have a passing game and everything like that. That still has to come to fruition. I hear you. It's not there. It's not there yet. Like I said, there's negatives. There's a lot of positives to go with it. I think you could balance it out, which is why, those W's are so important because you've earned that leash to sit there and keep this thing going and keep trying. And I think Caleb can get the job done, and I think he can improve, and I think he will. And I think
do
we're going
too.
to see that. I mean, those opportunities. But yeah, how does he do it? Go out there and fucking beat the Ravens.
Games like
Like
this,
that-
man.
Yes, I
Games
hear you.
like this.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Like, I want this to be a conversation of like, fuck yeah, dude. He took that opportunity and fucking did something with it. Not maybe he'll do it against the Giants.
Yeah, for real, dude. Like quarterbacks in this league make so much of a difference. They're so impactful. I wanted to say, can you afford a loss here? Sure, because nobody expects you to go to the playoffs. So if you're gonna go to the damn playoffs, then no, you have to win this game. You have to sit there and like stack as many wins as possible in winnable situations. This is a winnable situation. Like come through.
Like we're
Come
saying,
through and
this is
show us. Yeah.
This is that opportunity that you're asking for. And these are those small moments. You want to talk? Go ask Washington last year. Go ask them. Like,
but I
how
hear
did you?
If it
you
repeats,
regress down to the mean, guys. Like that shit happens. So if you repeat these performances of the last 2 weeks against the Ravens, and you're just doing shit the same way you've been doing it the last 3 weeks, we're not going to beat the Ravens this way. You're not. You need to step up in some new category. And the only category left where you can get better is quarterback. You need a special
I
game
hear
from your
ya.
fucking quarterback. Your running
If you
game,
do it the same way-
is not going to get better. You can't do
You do it
better
the
than
same
almost
way.
having. You can't get better than having almost 202 separate 100-yard rushers in a game. You can't get better than your defense giving you 3 to 4 turnovers per fucking game. It doesn't get better than Jake Moody is like 7 for 8 in the last 2 weeks. You can't ask these, like they can do the same. And if they do the same, then you're going to be in the game with the Ravens. But you won't pull it out unless one other aspect of this team starts to do something special.
I mean, dude, I love the playoff game from a couple years ago between the Bills and the Chiefs, where it was literally 7 or 8 drives on each side of the ball, touchdowns every drive, both teams. Josh Allen lost due to a damn coin flip in overtime.
Yeah.
Like, and then they changed the rules the next year to be like, well, we have to give them a chance if field goals get in overtime.
Yeah.
Because that guy clearly earned another chance and didn't get it, right? So, yeah, David, are you going to come across those moments? Yeah. If you plan on being for real, what do you think the playoffs are? Like, what do you think this is? Like, dude, we're really happy. We won 4 games in a row. We talk about just winning 3 games in a row. Why? Because you have to do that against the best teams in the playoffs. That is the path.
You want to win 5 games in a row? You're not going to do it doing this over and over again.
No,
you're
so
not,
if it continues, if you do come away with a W, but Caleb looked like he looked last week, and the stat line doesn't look pretty, and this and that, 100%, then you start going, oh shit! Like
that's the other thing, man.
Going
is like,
to come around and bite us because what the
this
hell?
is where, Paulie, this is where people love to use that phrase of like, well, it was an ugly win. Like, you know what else is an ugly win? 38-35 because your quarterback balled the fuck out and your defense couldn't stop shit and your offensive line couldn't like fucking run the ball. That's still an ugly win. So it's like
the Broncos had
right.
recently,
So
like,
when you say like, you know, hey, it can be an ugly win and win by any means necessary. Well, then when one part of your team starts to falter and starts to slack a little bit, then a different part of it needs to pick it up. Otherwise, that's just a weak part of your team. So if like one of these games, the defense starts to slump and the fucking running game starts to slump because they can't keep this pace up and your quarterback doesn't step up and like help them out, like then that means that that's a weak part of your team. That's a weak aspect of your team that needs to be improved. It's not that you're taking turns like winning games by is necessary. It means that those parts of the team do well sometimes and they do their jobs. And then this part of the team isn't able to step up when that part of the team isn't having a great game.
And this is what I'm talking about. When this is built to run through the passing game, you drafted a wide receiver top 10, you drafted a right tackle top 10,
Exactly.
you drafted a tight end top 10.
This whole thing is built for Caleb to ball the fuck out.
But you won without that happening.
Yeah.
And like I said, Dallas,
You won
You could
despite
point to
it.
the Dallas game, but even with the Dallas game, you failed on the first drive. The defense literally took the ball away from Dallas, gave it back to you, and was like, "No,
You're
right."
winning,
So
you're winning in
compliment.
every single way that you didn't expect to win so far.
Correct.
So count your lucky stars. Like, you want to talk about horseshoes up the ass? The Bears have a horseshoe up their ass right now. They're winning in ways that they shouldn't be winning right now. So now it's time to regress back to the middle. It's time to win some games the way you were supposed to. You should be winning some games 31-27.
Yep. And we talk about
Instant
this
shootouts.
every year, David. Like when we're like, dude, we don't want this win. It's an inflated win. Why? Because this team sucks and we know it sucks. Like this win doesn't help the overall thing. Okay, right now, those wins help because you need that time span for these opportunities.
Yeah.
But this thing has
You're
to get
buying
on track.
what
It
this
does
did was
have to get on track.
dude, what it did was buy time for Caleb. It bought time.
Yes.
It bought him time. Winning cures a lot. And it bought him a lot of time to not be the hero and not have to play the hero ball. But it has to happen eventually because you're asking a lot of parts of the team that aren't built to be your strength. And they're being a strength right now. So guess what? The part of the team that was built to be the strength needs to be the fucking strength sooner than later. And this is your first golden opportunity. golden opportunity.
David, I was talking about, I don't want a running back top 10 because that's not strategically smart based off history. Like, sure, you could find, like, you can find situations where you can say this guy is worth it. And okay, I get it, but I don't want that because the opportunity to impact a game is so huge from the defensive end position, and we're in such a need of that. That's what I want. Give me that to improve. Instead, we picked Colston Loveland. How has Colston Loveland helped impact this team? And I'll flip it on this side. The Raiders took Ashton Genty, running back I didn't want. Do you know the impact he's had on that offense? No, dude, are you kidding? They're running everything through him.
Yeah, but they're not
As
winning
much as
because
they
of him.
can. No, they're not winning because of it, but you're using him at least. And at least he's providing you something to value based off where you drafted him. What is Colston Loveland like provide? Like that's got to get better. It has to come to fruition if you want, a good team to become better and be great and whatever. Like, you got to hit on your draft picks right now. That hasn't happened. It's part of this failing passing game, right?
Yeah.
Like it's more part of a problem than a solution. Rome, on the other hand, Rome is probably the most consistent thing that I feel good about in this passing game. 100%. Like, that has really, really, really helped and impacted the game. I still would not draft a wide receiver top 10, by the way, but because you can still find that impact from guys drafted later. However, whatever. We did what we did. We're at where we're at. Rome has been worth it, right? He's been worth it for sure. But Caleb this thing needs to get going the right way if you have any faith in the long term, right? Otherwise, you're going to come short. You're going to be a middle of the pack team. And then the conversation is going to be, okay, is this a stepping stone year? Or are those lucky overinflated wins? Like, do we sink back down to reality at some point because this thing never truly got going? However, if you wind up with 8 or 9 wins, but the offense carried you and the defense regressed and the running game regressed, you could be at the same spot, but feel really good about where you're going next year because this thing has actually taken some form according to plan. It's got to go according to plan.
I got to say, that's what I'm saying. Genius what you just said, because if this team maintains where they're at right now and they win 8 games on defense and running game and Caleb is mediocre by the end of the season, I feel worse about next year than I do about this year. That fucking sucks. I would rather the defense take a step back. The running game needs some improvement, but Caleb is balling out in the last 5 games of the season. Like, that's what I would like to do. That's what I would rather do. The last 5 games of the season are fucking rough. If we miss the playoffs, but Caleb's throwing for 300 yards a game, running offense to the perfection, like, I'm happy with that. I'm fine with it. But I don't know, man. Like, official predictions for the Ravens game. How do you think this is going to go?
Clap back at Shorty real quick. He said he would have drafted Randy Moss #1 and been correct. And
I was thinking the exact same thing you were.
The glaring examples of history, like, yes, Randy Moss is amazing. Does not have a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
So, like, sure, you draft him.
You would have had a fun, entertaining team.
Yeah, you would have had a great time. But you wouldn't have come away with what we want. Like, I mean, at the end of the day.
Dude, I want to watch a Caleb Williams playoff game so bad. I want to watch Caleb Williams in the playoffs so bad.
David, I think one of the funniest things you said was, I don't care if Caleb makes out with his boyfriend while he's holding the Lombardi trophy.
Yeah.
If he's holding whatever, who cares? Nobody cares because that's the main goal. Like, dude, that's what we're trying to get here at the end of the day is a Super Bowl victory. The best path for that is through a goddamn quarterback that plays well and plays consistent. That's dude, it's part of the equation. And like I said, it doesn't have to be stats. Look at Jalen Hurts. Those stats got the job done. That team was very balanced, very overall complete. Look at the 49ers. They made there's ways to do it.
Those teams are not your team.
Yes, the most examples come from teams led by quarterbacks. Those are the teams that are good year in, year out. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Like, dude, that's where we need to get to. You do it by beating Lamar.
Yeah.
Like
I want
yeah,
Caleb
sure.
to outplay Lamar. You want him to be a top 10 quarterback? Beat Lamar.
Yeah, it's not too big of a task. It really isn't. So, guys, hour 15. I can tell David's had a long day, so he's got to finish up. I got to finish up too. I think we're going to cut this thing. David, any closing thoughts?
what's
You have predictions?
Yeah,
Yes.
Ravens. I got them. What?
Sorry, that was me breathing. Like, sorry, because I'm thinking.
No, I was just reading. This was a last weird one. I have Falcons season tickets. I want the Falcons to win the division and the Bears to play them in the playoffs. We own that stadium.
Because those are his two teams, so every fan of the team would be a fan of both his teams. Yeah, it's like when I go to a Bears Patriots game. I like. Yeah, this is nice.
I think the Bears regress a little bit to the mean. I think they're confident. They're good. They're better than expected. The team's on a streak. This is a little bit of a come down to earth moment. I'm gonna go with a loss 31-20 in Baltimore. I think the Bears keep up and then just the Ravens pull away and it's a kitchen sink game. I got them losing 31-20.
Interesting. And this is where I keep saying that, being a Bears fan, I'm like this worm on a hook that's been reeled in a dozen times and I'm all gray and decrepit. And David, my tail's wiggling.
Oh,
God.
God.
A little wiggle. You just see a little wiggle on the water. Just throw me right back in the water, man. I'm taking the Bears. 22-20.
22. What is there? A safety in this fucking game, you weirdo?
I don't fucking know. Or a missed kick or something.
Can I give you? No, I'm going to give you 22.
Missed extra point. Missed extra point. Yeah, no, not a safety. I think a missed extra point is more likely. Okay. And honestly, I think I'm going to go back to my hope a little bit. I hope so much we win this game. I want it so bad because I want this thing to skyrocket and take off like it has for other teams. It does not take this long to change and get good. It doesn't. I want Caleb to prove everything. It's Shorty. That's crazy. 36-20. I mean, I guess I say it's crazy now.
Which way? Which way?
Yeah, which way exactly? What? 26. Okay. Same thing.
I have a question. Can I? One closing question. Because Diggs said, I can't be mad right now. If we lose Sunday and Caleb shits the bed, that's a different story. And Shorty agreed. I'd like to know what your number is of Caleb shitting the bed. Because to me, if he goes around 200, one pick, one touchdown, that's shitting the bed. That's my standard of shitting the bed for at this point. What is the standard? What to them means shitting the bed? If he shits the bed, what does that mean? 200, 1-1? I get that from rookies, bro. I can get that from Tyson Bagent.
Yes, and I was going to bring that up. So, like,
I can get 1-1 from fucking backups. Joe Flacco's out there winning fucking Thursday nighters with 3 touchdowns. You can get 200, 1-1 from 30 quarterbacks in the league.
And David,
so what is shitting the bed? Multiple turnovers?
So that's
Nathan Peterman shit.
No. That's not it. The thing is a lot of quarterbacks in this league have been able to play safe. We saw it with Justin Fields. Justin Fields was not throwing picks left and right. This isn't like what we once had where Jay Cutler throws 4 picks to fucking one player and this and that. No, there's a lot of safe football. Well, it's opportunistic football. What's shitting the bed in my opinion? That defense feeds you that ball again, and you don't capitalize on it, and you come away with like a 1-1 200 game. But the style you did it in is like very shitty. That's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel good to me. But like if you, dude, you don't need much stat wise. It's all like, situational football.
Your standards are so low.
That is so low. But you want him to throw for 4,000 yards, right? Like,
why are there? This guy's as good. This guy's good enough to throw for 4,000.
No, what I
shitting
need
the bed is
what I need from
3 or more interceptions.
I need Caleb
shit
to have a 2+2 touchdown, 2 turnover, ratio. So either 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, or 2 touchdowns, no pick, or 4 and 2. That's fine with me. And at least 250 yards. At least 250 yards.
So, Shorty, you saying he throws for 150 and 1 pick is not shitting the bed?
Shorty,
Because you said shitting the bed. You said shitting the bed is multiple turnovers, dude. If you want multiple
Shorty's got an
turnovers,
issue
go
with
put in
comparing
any
things
backup.
to Bears history. No, we're talking about the NFL standards, Shorty. The NFL standards. Like David said, you can get 200 1-1 from a lot of quarterbacks.
30 guys in the league.
Yeah, you got the number 1 overall pick. Go out and fucking show you have the number 1 overall pick, because otherwise, what's the difference? If you're not winning games because of Caleb, you might as well be starting a guy like Bagent and not pay Caleb. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Shorty,
that's where
we're
this
like 10
ultimately
years
comes down
apart.
to, man.
Shorty, we're like 10 years apart. I'm 35 years old, dude. Like, you saw the 90s? Congratulations. I've seen plenty of Bears football, bro. Like, it's not about the Bears standard. It's about, I want a good fucking NFL quarterback.
And what's up,
And then
AJ?
a good
I think AJ
NFL
makes a good point.
quarterback. But an NFL quarterback. No, I'm not comparing shit to the Chiefs.
Well,
I'm comparing him to good quarterbacks. And you want a quarterback to win a game in the NFL? He needs to throw for like 275 and 3 tutties. No picks.
What do you think Lamar's going to
Throw
do?
above 75.
What do you think Lamar is going to do?
Lamar's going to have 2 touchdowns throwing, 1 touchdown rushing, 200 on the air, 75 on the ground if he's healthy. And you're going to be like, he underperformed.
Right. And dude, and so
Like,
what's
what?
shitting the bed? What's shitting the bed if you get half of his stats? Like, if you're 150 in one turnover and like Lamar's got like a 350-yard game going, like, yeah, you shit the bed. Okay, if you're 200 yards and Lamar's only 200 yards and there's been a back and forth and you came through in opportunistic moments and this and that, that's not necessarily shitting the bed. Like, you can still sit there and whatever. That's why it's all style and it's all situational to me. But yeah, the expectation for Lamar is to come out and ball out because he's a damn good quarterback, which a number 1 overall pick should be. And like, dude, we did this with Eberflus. Oh, three wins first year. Well, the team's rebuilding. The excuses last for so long. Oh, Caleb's in his 2nd year. Yes, he's in his 2nd year. Like, this has to come to fruition, not happen because it's his 2nd year. No, it's got to happen before he gets to his 3rd year. Damn it! Like, these things need to start.
Just to clarify, if we win the same score 3 weeks in a row, you win 25, 24, I don't give a fuck.
No, but David, I brought this up. Raiders and Washington were the same score. 2 different games. You got lucky with the Raiders. You earned the Washington one. Same score.
Yeah. It's eye test shit. I have no issue. If we come out and run the ball down Ravens' throat, get some turnovers, and Caleb plays for 201-1, I guess it's fine. You're 5-2. You're in the playoff hunt. That's great. It's awesome. Yes. Everybody's going to be celebrating it. I'm not here rooting for a fucking loss, but it's not sustainable. It is not sustainable.
That's what we're saying, King. Win is the most important stat. It'll buy you more time. However, if you win in the same style you won against the Saints, yes, great. But there's going to be a big but there. But what the fuck's going on is going to be a huge question. I want to avoid that. Go out there and
shit the
fucking
bed.
Perform, man. Like,
dude, shitting the bed is one of the worst quarterback performances of the season. That's your standard for shitting the bed? I don't want that. If you guys are talking about a standard, an elevation, and blah, 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 then you can't have the worst quarterback performance of the season. You can't tell me about how this team is elevating its standard and then say that, well, I guess I draw the line at Caleb throwing 3 picks. That shit is unacceptable. In Ben Johnson's team, Braxton Jones wasn't fucking good enough, and he was playing fine. And that wasn't good enough. If Caleb Williams throws 3 fucking picks, he should be benched by fucking halftime in Ben Johnson's offense. Like, shitting the bed is not an option here.
Right. If you have a game like you did against Detroit,
Caleb played well against Detroit.
Against Detroit? No, he got
He had
benched.
two
at the end.
touchdowns. He got like 2 touchdowns, no picks.
He got benched at the end.
Yeah, at the end because you were down fucking 30 points.
Right.
That's the
So,
same thing.
like, dude, you couldn't keep up. Like, you just couldn't keep up. You couldn't do it. Like, dude, here's the thing. I want to leave this game, David, not having it be another situation where we come away with excuses. I'm looking at this game as a goddamn opportunity. As an opportunity to prove some shit and to get on pace there and like take advantage of this opportunity. Guys, it's the number 1 overall pick. The expectations should be as high as possible.
Also,
like,
you're playing the 1-5 Ravens. Fuck them up.
Yeah, this is a winnable opportunity 100%.
Not only winnable,
Do it.
fuck them up. You want to put your fucking dick on the table? You want to fucking go in there and be
hype
like, we're
videos all
actually
day,
serious
like-
in NFC North? Like, beat the shit out of the Ravens, dude. Like, we're all talking about how this is going to be a close game because blah, blah, blah. But we're also we're talking out of both sides of our mouth. Like, the
In a way,
Ravens
a
suck
little
right
bit,
now.
yeah.
We're the Ravens suck right now. And the Bears are playing well and they're playing good team football. But, like, they're not good enough and shitting the bed is like, no. Mine and Paul's standard is like good game from the quarterback. Beat the shit out of a 1-5 Ravens team that's underperforming this season. Put the nail in the fucking coffin. That's my fucking expectation. But
David,
like
how
the
about this?
reality is that
How about this? If your defense fails you, if your special teams fails you, and you miss a kick, and the defense can't do anything against Lamar. However, you made it a competitive game. You kept up, and you do get those 354. And like,
yeah. I would even
and
argue
I'm not talking about garbage time bullshit. I'm not talking about Kirk Cousins stats. I'm talking about actual keeping up. Dude, I'll be fine with a loss.
Yeah.
And that,
Like
that's what
Caleb
people don't
almost beat
understand,
the
like,
Ravens for you by himself. Like, fuck
Oh
yeah.
yeah, no, good. That'll be good.
Fuck yeah.
It'll be a step in the right direction in that scenario because you've been able to buy yourself more time with the last 2 weeks winning. I mean, dude, it's what it is. Like, so you can afford that loss in that way. Now, if you have higher aspirations than 7, 8, 9 wins, and you think this team has a chance of making the playoffs, god damn it, you got to win it. You got to win this game. You got to win to get there. Period. So it just depends on what point of view you're talking from. And so, like, yeah, the worst case scenario is that, like you said, Caleb does not move
Keep
forward.
up.
Like, yeah, no, we need him to get better. 100%. I agree with that. So, yeah, David, we got our predictions in, right? What's yours? Did you get yours in?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
31
Yeah,
20
you did.
Ravens.
Yep, 31. That's right. Okay. Yeah, and I can see that. I can see Lamar having a get right game and
The Ravens.
whatever.
need
I
it,
just,
right? 31
yeah,
20.
I know. But like, we also need this too. Like, we need this thing to skyrocket and go forward, and these things to fucking pan out. So I need.
You want
Colston
this season?
Loveland.
You want
I need
this season to
Colston
be one
Loveland
of those
to catch
seasons?
3 fucking balls at least this game. How about that?
Yeah, let's start there.
Jesus Christ. While Ashton Genty's running for 240 at this point, I would have rather had the running.
Don't
back I
even
didn't want.
don't even
Like,
talk
God
about
damn.
Tyler Warren, dude.
Dude. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody in chat. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for participating. Hope you like the highlight videos recently. I've been trying to crank them out. I'm going to keep it going. And yeah, bear down, everybody. Feel free to join us week to week. Agree, disagree. We take all the conversation, entertain it. So
Hell yeah.
appreciate you guys. Bear
Put it in
down.
the chat.
Let's fucking win this thing and let's bury
Fuck.
the Ravens. I would love to do that and then
Hell yeah.
come in with some fucking great talking points next week. So
I'll be
yes,
a
thank you,
total
Short.
insufferable asshole if we beat the shit out of the Ravens.
Oh yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
Good protection. Lines it up for DJ Moore to the end zone. Touchdown! Take the shotgun snap. Late pressure fired. Ball buries him. Ball is out. It's on the ground. Score!